And the first place winner in the International Speech Contest is Coffey.
Unleash your potential. Unleash your potential, Ed Coffey.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. How many of you folks here this evening have been to the circus? Quite a few, I can see. What do you always see when you go there? Elephants. Right? Elephants. Clowns too. Something you may have seen on your visit was a large elephant tied to a small stake in the ground by means of a thin rope. Now perhaps you've never considered this, but this huge 6,000-pound animal with his great strength could easily pull that stake out of the ground, but he doesn't do so. Why? Because he doesn't think he can. As a baby, the elephant was tied securely to an immovable object. Although he tried and tried to get away, he never could do so. And in the end, convinced that elephants tied to stakes can never get free, he stopped trying altogether. Even though he's well able to get away now, he just stands there, firmly rooted to an idea he got a long time ago. Now, if you knew Elephant Tom, and you whispered in his ear that he didn't have to stand by an idea he got as a baby, do you think he'd change his mind? You bet he would. He'd be out of that tent as fast as his legs could carry him. Most of our ideas as human beings are formed before we get to 12 years of age and often react a lot like elephants. We cling to old ideas simply because we don't think we can change them. This will rob us of much of our potential in life. And that's what I'd like to speak to you about this evening, potential. When I was a child growing up back home, I often heard the phrase, "Little boys should be seen and not heard." This soon gave way to the phrase, "It's better to keep your mouth shut and be assumed to be a fool than to open it and remove all doubt." As a result, I grew up a rather reticent fellow. This continued to be the case until I joined the Toastmasters Club, and then I met Jim. I never knew Jim as a healthy man. In fact, he was dying a little more every time I saw him. Jim was unfortunate enough to have developed diabetes at an early age, and although he fought mightily to rid himself of it, he never did succeed, and by the time I came to know him in his late 30s, he was fighting a losing battle. I wonder what such a simply-looking blind man like he might be doing at Toastmasters meeting. In fact, why one so pale of pallor wasn't already lying in a hospital bed. I soon found out. When asked a table topics question, he slowly, unsteadily got to his feet, and in a couple of minutes transformed the room. With words hewn of thin air and phrases crafted with concise commentary, he delivered a response so succinct, balanced, and to the point that I remember afterwards thinking about the Gettysburg Address. From that day forward, I watched this time after time. Jim mold mesmerizing magic of the English language. I suspect that a number of our club members attended much more to listen to Jim than to give speeches of their own. Now, when Jim finally died, and his was far from an easy passing, one of his closest friends confided to me that Jim thought being a Toastmaster was one of the best things that would happen in his life. Indeed, Toastmasters helped him fulfill a potential he never would have realized otherwise. Now, this early experience with eloquence taught me the power of table topics as a teaching tool, and also the power of communication when used properly. And when I think about Jim today, I'm reminded of that other thief of talent, and that is complacency. You see, Jim didn't have to be a Toastmaster. He could have easily given in to his disease and become a victim of it, but he wasn't complacent about it, he fought it. Now, complacency can come from confusion over goals, mixed priorities, or simple boredom. But boredom and complacency won't happen to you at Toastmasters. Why? Because we always have such interesting meetings. There's always something new to get involved in, always something different to do. In fact, joining a Toastmasters Club is a guarantee you'll be shaken out of your complacency and begin to work on that latent, hidden talent that lies dormant within us all. Another reason you'll never get tired of Toastmasters is because it can become a lifelong learning experience. When you first join, you complete a basic communication and leadership manual and become a competent communicator. Then you graduate to more advanced manuals and become an advanced communicator. Finally, you can go on to become a distinguished Toastmaster, one of the highest recognitions in Toastmasters today. All of these programs are self-paced, and you can be a tortoise or a hare, taking as long or as little a time as you need. Famous science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke, author of 2001: A Space Odyssey, once said, the only way to find the limits of the possible is to go a little ways past them in